Bob Strausbaugh excelled in both academics and athletics at the academy. Although he was smaller in size than many of his classmates, he made up for it with tough mental discipline. The 38 Caravel reads, "His cool, precise manner when on the mound is one that gives confidence to the other members of the team. We all acknowledge him as one of the foremost players the Academy has ever had." Bob went on to Haverford and after graduation volunteered for the Army Signal Corps. His calm, collected manner would serve him well as he faced some of the greatest battles of World War II.
I landed in England on the Queen Elizabeth, and we transferred across the channel to landed at Normandy at Utah Beach on August of 1944. We had holding action against Saint-Nazaire and Lorient, the submarine pits, from September until Christmas. Christmas Eve, we were alerted that we were to join the 3rd Army, move up to the Bulge. So we left on Christmas morning, went through Paris and Reims, and joined the Bulge on the day after Christmas. We had 2 days of fighting, and at that time everything was going good. It looked like Patton had to control the situation. He had moved 4 divisions up from east of Luxembourg to attack the Bulge, so he got worried about counterattacks east of Luxembourg because that's where he had thinned out his troops. So he sent our 94th Division down to plug that gap, and we got there after 2 days of fighting at the Bulge. We actually assumed that position there in the Mosel River, and from there we attacked across the Rhine and went to the Saar. I remember three main things about the Bulge. One was extreme cold. At night it was 0 to -5. We didn't have the proper equipment. They moved munitions up instead of clothing because they thought they might get the war over before winter. The second was I ran into a soldier who had been in the 105th Infantry Division. One whole regiment of that division was captured, and his anti-tank company, which was the same as mine, lost everyone, were captured except 2 men, a Jeep, and a truck. They were the only ones that got out. The other thing I remember about that last morning was when we woke up, or when we didn't have any combat during the night because we were stopped overnight. But I remember waking up and seeing bright sunshine, and boy, that meant that the U.S. Air Force could attack. The P-47s could hit our roads and our crossroads, and the C-47s could drop supplies and munitions, and it meant that we could knock off the Bulge. One of the most interesting times I had, we captured a few troops, maybe 8 or 10 troops, and we had a truck with a direct fire gun that we pulled, and we loaded these 6 or 8 prisoners on the truck. And one German boy, he must have been 17 years old, was sitting beside me and was shaking like a leaf. He really thought we were going to take him behind a hill and shoot him. And I spoke German. So I said, "Hab keine Angst, have no fear." I says, "For you the war's over. In 4 months you may be home with your family." I said, we got to fight, continue to fight this war. I said, "Boy, things are great for you." And just like that, calm came over him. And we talked where he was from, his home. We talked for 20 minutes. Now, I'll have to say we became friends in that 20 minutes. And about that time, we hit about 40 or 50 Germans in the road. They jumped for the ditches, and the fellows in the truck ahead of us started firing. And I didn't fire because I was in the ditch. I looked beside, and here's this German prisoner. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and we both laughed. And I said, come with me. I said, you go this way and tell them to surrender. We won't shoot anymore. Come with their hands up. And I went the other direction. And about that time, I saw him stop. And he had a German officer next to a tree. And he jerked away from him. And I said, what's wrong? Is he wounded? And he didn't answer me. Then I realized that he was okay. And I went up to him with my carbine and pointed at him. He jumped up, handed me his P-38, and went on. A few minutes later, some of my buddies says, hey, Bob, come down here. These officers want to talk. They're trying to tell us something. So I went down and I said, what's wrong? And they said, we are German officers. They were SS. We are officers of the German army. We should not have to hold our hands behind our heads. My buddies, I told my buddies, they said, oh, that's simple. Tell the enlisted men they can put their hands down, but make the officers keep their hands behind their heads. You never saw German people so mad. The red you could see coming up his neck. They got on the truck, and one of the enlisted men, we had a cross-cut saw in the truck. He cut his hand, bad gash, and one of the officers had said he was a doctor, a medic or a doctor. And so I said, help him. He was stern. I said, help him. And about that time, one of my buddies put an M1 up in that, and I won't say the words he used, but the last two words were help him. And he did.
Bob's gritty determination under fire, along with that of the entire 94th Infantry Division, enabled the United States and its allies to break the German forces, ensuring victory in Europe. He and his entire division were the first to receive the Expert Infantryman Medal of Honor.